Few men pause to reflect on the internal workings of their own bodies when everything appears to be in order, and therein lies the danger. The prostate, this unassuming and under-discussed gland within male circles, often becomes a topic of concern only when damage has already taken root, and the time that could have been an ally transforms into an adversary. The truth is that most prostatic problems begin in a nearly imperceptible manner, with such subtle signs that many mistake them for the simple progression of age. A slightly heightened difficulty urinating here, an increased nocturnal urge there. And just like that, the body starts emitting subtle alerts that, if ignored, evolve in a silent and relentless fashion. Men over 42, especially those with a family history of urological diseases or belonging to high-risk groups, such as African descendants, need to understand that prevention is not just a medical buzzword. It is a shield of protection to maintain their vitality, energy, and above all, their freedom. Because yes, when the prostate begins to present serious problems, life changes radically. From the use of continuous medication to surgeries and limitations in intimate routines, everything can be affected. Negligence does not forgive, and the reckoning always arrives. At this stage in life, taking care of your prostate should be viewed in the same way as reviewing your car's brakes, visiting the dentist, or adjusting your diet. The difference lies in the fact that, in this case, we are not simply talking about comfort. We are talking about survival. After all, prostate cancer does not discriminate against its victims based on appearance, status, or physical strength. It capitalizes precisely on negligence and silence. And when it emerges, it often already occupies more space than it should. Therefore, the only truly masculine stance here is to confront the issue with courage and proactivity. Avoiding the doctor does not make one more virile. What makes one stronger is assuming command of one's own health with intelligence and maturity. When it comes to prevention, the biggest challenge isn't the difficulty of the exams, but the prejudice that still surrounds them. The rectal exam, for instance, is the target of jokes and myths that distance it from what truly matters: its effectiveness. With a simple touch, the urologist can identify abnormalities in the texture, size, or firmness of the prostate that are not apparent in any other examination. It's quick, painless, and contrary to what many believe, has absolutely nothing to do with the sexuality of the person undergoing it. It's a clinical, technical procedure that can be decisive in detecting something that is still in its early stages of development. But he doesn't walk this path alone. The PSA, a blood test that measures levels of prostate-specific antigen, is another cornerstone in early detection. Elevated levels don't always signify cancer. They could indicate inflammation, infection, or benign growth, but they serve as a red flag warranting further inquiry. What proves crucial here isn't merely the isolated value, but rather its trajectory over time, its progression through the years, and how it interacts with other diagnostic tools. Prostatic ultrasound, particularly transrectal, is another potent tool for observing the gland in minute detail. Meanwhile, multiparametric MRI takes center stage when doubts or more substantial suspicions arise, helping to preclude unnecessary biopsies. However, when suspicion confirms, a biopsy is indispensable. It provides the definitive diagnosis. It is the synergy of these procedures that constitutes our defense against the unforeseen. In this context, procrastination is akin to allowing an adversary to fortify itself in the shadows. If you've made it this far, you've already taken a significant step. Now, seize this moment and subscribe to the channel. We speak the truth here. No fluff, no beating around the bush, just a focus on men's genuine health. Tell us in the comments. Have you ever taken any of these tests? What was your experience like? You don't have to go into detail, just leave a "I care about my health" in the comments to show that you're with us in this fight against silence. Sometimes the signs are all there, yet the man insists on making excuses. It begins with a weaker urine stream, that feeling of not having completely emptied the bladder, an increase in trips to the bathroom, particularly at night, and in some cases, pain or burning during urination. These are classic symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, which is the natural enlargement of the prostate gland as men age. However, the big problem is that similar symptoms can also arise in cases of cancer or prostatitis. In other words, you can never rely solely on symptoms to know what's going on. The body speaks, but it doesn't always say exactly what's happening. And the only way to understand this language is through examination. Unfortunately, many men only seek medical attention when symptoms become debilitating. By then, treatment requires more time, more effort, more medication, and sometimes even surgery. At advanced stages, cancer can spread to bones, liver, and lungs. What was once preventable becomes a long, painful, and regret-filled battle. Therefore, the logic is straightforward. You can choose to act now with quick examinations and light monitoring, or wait and face heavy treatments with fewer chances of reversal. But there is something deeper at play here. The fear of a diagnosis, in reality, masks the fear of losing control. Men who have been taught from a young age to never show weakness see the examination as a surrender, when in truth it is an act of absolute command. Those who seek answers take care of themselves. Those who wait for the worst to react relinquish their destiny to chance. The good news, and there is good news, is that even in the face of a positive diagnosis, medicine has advanced considerably. Today, minimally invasive treatments, robotic surgery, precise radiation therapy, and hormonal monitoring are capable of controlling and even curing the majority of prostate cancer cases when detected early. The crux of the issue lies in the when. The sooner you know, the more options you have. The later you discover it, the more limited your choices become. The difference between living with freedom or with restrictions could be a 15-minute consultation. Many men who have traversed this path today live normal lives. Some utilize medication continuously. Others have undergone surgery. But they all share a common thread. They chose to confront their fear, overcome prejudice, and take charge of their own narrative. Moreover, many of these men have become role models for others, demonstrating that health is not about appearance but about choices. Authentic masculinity is built upon responsibility and a forward-thinking perspective. It is no exaggeration to say that, in many cases, early detection saves not only biological life but also relationships, self-esteem, the freedom to move about, and trust. Acting in time protects you and your family as well. How many families have witnessed the fading away of fathers, husbands, and grandfathers due to shame or pride? You don't have to perpetuate this cycle. Caring for your prostate is caring for your future. It's looking ahead with the awareness of someone who knows that life deserves attention in every detail. And this should not be done out of fear of death, but out of love for life. Love for your energy, your strength, your plans, your relationships, and above all, for your own body. Male intimate health needs to be treated with the same seriousness as your heart, your brain, or your lungs. Only by breaking the culture of silence can we build a generation of men who are more discerning, healthier, and more present. If you've made it this far, know that you are part of this transformation. The very act of reading this text to its conclusion makes you an agent of change. Now, envision the impact on countless other individuals if you were to share this message. Comment below with your own experience, or simply leave a "I'm on this journey too." These actions resonate far more deeply than you might realize. So, if this video resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel. We're committed to delivering straightforward, insightful content that values your intellect. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What was the most profound takeaway from this discussion? Have you taken any exams yourself? Have you encouraged others to do so? Let's cultivate a supportive community where we share experiences, empower each other, and embrace the responsibility of prioritizing our well-being.